Oh, I got Romero. I don't know why. I just feel like since he knows this is his last chance to win a belt, he's gonna like go in there for broke and try to take his head Adesanya's head off. And I think he'll do that. I think he'll knock him out in the 4th round.
I think Izzy calling out Yoel was pretty ballsy, but he wouldn't have done it if he didn't have reason to. He's probably studied Yoel top to bottom. He's going to really have to keep his distance for the first 2 to 3 rounds, because those are the rounds that Yoel's dangerous. But in the champion rounds, Yoel's gas tank starts to run on E. But he's not somebody that Izzy can look over. So yep, and still, yeah.
Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero is a fight I've been looking forward to since it was announced. This is a phenomenal striker versus a fucking tank. A tank in Yoel Romero. But I don't think Yoel has it, man. I think Izzy takes it easily. I think he picks him apart from distance. Yoel tries to close the gaps with big explosive movements, and Izzy's not there for it, and he just picks him apart at distance. As Yoel tires, Izzy will pick up the pace, he will put on the pressure, he will push forward, and I think we get a TKO in the championship rounds. And still, African power. The great African warriors are here, man. CTH, stop hating, bro, just because he black. That's racist. Izzy, 4th round TKO? Easily, man. Easily, once again. I know John Jones didn't dominate, but whatever, he's getting old. So don't count. Izzy's gonna murder. He's gonna destroy Yoel. Simple as that.
So for Izzy versus Romero, I think that Izzy's just going to be too long, too fast, too elusive. Romero's just going to be hitting there all night. He'll get tired, and Izzy's just going to piece him up. It'll probably be a decision because Yoel's made of fucking steel. But yeah, I don't think it'll be too hard for Izzy. And also, Zhang's going to fucking murder Joanna.
Yo, Romero versus Israel Adesanya. What a banger. First off, I want to give Izzy props for taking his fight. He didn't have to. He did it anyway. With that said, I think he made a huge mistake. In my opinion, Yoel Romero is the worst matchup for Izzy in the middleweight division. I do not think Izzy can KO Romero, so he has to work him for 25 minutes, and that time Romero will find a shot and sleep Izzy. Yoel Romero is gonna come in knowing that this is possibly his last shot he's ever gonna get to become champion. This will make him hungrier than ever before. And lastly, even though Romero's wrestling hasn't always been effective, Izzy is always aware of it, and that's nothing to think about going into this fight. So, I have Yoel Romero by KO in the 3rd round. See you soon, boy.
Bro, what a fucking fight. First of all, you got the beast, Yoel Romero. I mean, this fucking guy, it's crazy. An absolute tank, fused neck. What's weird is that he's on a bit of a losing streak, you know? He's got the win over Luke Rockhold, the 2 back-to-back losses to Whitaker. You just gotta figure those, you know, those kind of battles, those kind of fights, they really take a lot out of you. And at his age, I just wonder, because it's tough when you're getting that old, even off those wars with a young guy like Whitaker. It's hard for me to pick you. The thing is, though, he's just such an animal. He's so ferocious, constantly referred to as a piece of steel. But then you got Izzy, and he has been perfect in his MMA career. Perfect, 18-0, undefeated in the UFC. I think he's only been to a decision twice. Gastelum, obviously, and then Vittori. So, I mean, he's a finisher. He's thoroughbred. He's dangerous as fuck. I gotta go with Israel on this one. I've been riding that hype train ever since he joined the UFC. And he said that he was a new dog pissing all over the yard. Honestly, I'm just looking forward to the fight itself. I see it going a lot of different ways, whether it's Israel keeping distance, picking him apart, sort of like he did with Whitaker, or I kind of see maybe him being aggressive, him going after it. He talked a lot about maybe he takes Yoel down, and he's the kind of guy to just kind of do this stuff to put his money where his mouth is, see what he's made out of. So I see this going a lot of different ways, but I've got Israel by decision. It's going to be a 5 5-round absolute classic, I think. Yoel is tough to put away, tough as nails. And even in that old age, I just don't see it happening. So I'm gonna go Izzy 5-round decision in another potential fight of the year candidate.
So I'm gonna preface this by saying Yoel Romero, he's one of my favorite fighters, but when it comes to this matchup, I think he's gonna be hitting air for 5 rounds and sticking his tongue out. His wrestling's good, but I just don't see him being able to get his hands on Izzy. He's too slick, he's too technical. I think he's gonna damage you all a lot on the way in and just coast to a pretty good looking decision. And then of course everyone on Twitter will cry that Yoel got robbed, but it is what it is.
Greetings, nerds and virgins of the MMA court. I just got back from one of my spicy Mamacita's houses and a 5-round cardio session, and now I'm here to give you Beta Internet Soy Boys America's Pick of the Week. Robert Whittaker had to move up to middleweight since he was a loser washout at welterweight, so it was no surprise that string bean Israel Adesanya knocked him out. Yoel, however, isn't a fat, unathletic, slow loser, and is going to shove that other Nigerian nerd Israel down the toilet, take his lunch money, and his belt. On Saturday, Yoel is going to get a taste of what it feels like to be me, Raw American Steel, and the Trumps. He's going to be a champ and a winner.
Adesanya is a technical striker. He's very good at pivoting and countering with those technical shots, whilst Romero is obviously very explosive, very good with that. But I think Adesanya is just too good. I think that Adesanya is gonna outstrike him in the first round. Romero is gonna come back and use that silver medal in wrestling, which he has in the second round, and out wrestle Adesanya for a bit. But he won't be able to keep him down. Adesanya will reverse positions and get back up, and then in round 3, I think Adesanya is gonna catch him. I think Adesanya will catch him with a good left kick, then a right hand which drops Romero, and then a bit of ground and pound, and round 3 knockout is how I see this fight going.
Alright, so let me start off by saying that Yoel is probably one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. He's always exciting, he always goes for the kill, and he doesn't use wrestling unless it's absolutely necessary. That being said though, I'm picking Israel by decision. I feel like Izzy could get the KO since Costa peppered up Yoel's chin pretty good in their bout, but the safe bet is probably still Izzy by decision. Israel just seems too far ahead in the striking department, and I don't see Yoel landing anything fight-ending very easily. Izzy kind of downloads the data and outstrikes all of his opponents. Either way, I wouldn't be mad if Yoel finally got some gold, but Izzy is here to stay, and even though Yoel is arguably his worst stylistic matchup in the division, I don't see Yoel going for takedowns in wrestling very often. Possible fight of the year contender? Who knows? Costa versus Yoel was amazing, Izzy versus Gastelum was amazing. This might just be even better than both of those.
The Israel and Romero fight will be a clash of the titans, that's for sure. However, this fight is extremely easy for me to pick because every time I pick Romero, it's wrong. If I pick that he wins, he loses. If I pick that he loses, he wins. But then whenever I pick Israel, he wins. So I've got to go with Israel to keep that streak going. It's 7 streak long, so I'm doing pretty good with that. So I think I'm going to stick with that. I pick Izzy to win.
My pick is that Adesanya wins this one by decision. I'm not expecting Romero to make much of a push until rounds 3, 4 and 5, and until that point I'm thinking Yoel will fight more reserved, but looking for opportunities and for Israel to make some kind of mistake. Romero has said the way to win this is by knocking Izzy out, and that makes a lot of sense given the run of decisions which haven't gone his way. In the end though, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Izzy wins this 49-46. But fuck, I really want to see Izzy get rock-holded.
Originally, I was quite high on Adesanya. He outstruck Whittaker, who, of course, outstruck Yoel twice. Problem is he's been caught before. He's been caught by Gastelum. He wasn't caught by Rob, but he also got Rob out there at 2 rounds. Yoel's practically indestructible. The vertebrae in his neck are fused together. It's almost impossible to shake his head to give him a concussion like you can a normal person. So Izzy's going to be having to deal with him for 5 whole rounds. Yoel's not got a great gas tank. I think if Izzy gives him an opportunity over those 5 rounds, he'll let Yoel get in there and smack him about. And I'm not sure that Izzy can handle it. Add to that while Yoel's got pretty bad top control, he's also by far the best wrestler Izzy will ever have faced, and that means I think that he might be able to lead some trips into some attacks, and I think this is going to be a far more difficult and different challenge compared to anything Izzy's fought before, even ignoring any possible health concerns. So I'm afraid my pick's going to have to be Yoel by a KO, probably in the later rounds if he manages his cardio correctly.
Israel got this far. I say this because of the simple fact that Yoel's whole game, based on his high touch energy, his tempo, and there's no one in the entire UFC that can handle that better than Israel. Israel's elite kickboxer, elite striker. His takedown defense is fucking amazing. He's like 89% all takedown defense attempts. He's the champ, and Yoel has been sliding lately, 2 straight losses. Debatable, I think he won one of them both. We're not gonna get into that. Yeah, all the momentum is pointing towards Israel. And to top all that off, Israel is the one who asked for this fight. So I feel like he has something under his sleeve. He wants to make a statement. And I feel like he found a way to do that against Yoel. So I got Israel on this. I'll say Israel 3rd round TKO.
Izzy versus Romero, I'm going to go ahead and pick Izzy on this because Romero doesn't use that much movement in his striking defense. Izzy's too accurate, he's too fast, he's too young. Romero's at the end of his career, at least the end of his prime, and I just can't see Romero winning. Romero is a wrestler, but his MMA wrestling is garbage. You know, he can win as many medals as he wants in pure wrestling, but this isn't pure wrestling, this is MMA. I predict Romero might take him down. The question is if Izzy can stand up, because Romero is good with the takedown, but in terms of ground control, he lost all concept of ground control. That's the big question, I guess, what's going to happen during that fight. Because Izzy has been taken down. He hasn't been taken down much, but he has been taken down. And he's been able to get up, but it's usually been with really crappy wrestlers. I'm pretty sure Gaslam took him down, but it was at like the very end of the fight, if I recall correctly. So they're both worn out. You can either give Izzy props for having more energy or for having great get-ups. So we'll see. But for now, let's go with Izzy. Let's go Team Hentai. Whoop whoop.
Oh, and thank you to Cassidy for the good vibes. They'll always be appreciated.